In 2006, my husband Rob and I decided to buy a little black and white country pub. I'm not quite sure why, but as they say, it seemed like a good idea at the time. I kept a diary, and when we finally left in 2009, I decided to write a book about our experiences. Cows to Corpses is a humorous account of our first year in the pub, when we really didn't know what we were doing, and we were making it up as we went along. It's written diary style in 50 short chapters, and the extract I'm going to read to you today is chapter 12, the end of the first week. Leading up to this in the book, we had to wrangle with solicitors, interview chefs, and do a lot of research, which mainly seemed to involve going to pubs and drinking in them. Until finally we managed to take over and learnt to pull our first pint and serve in the restaurant. If you've ever had the tiniest glimmer of a dream to own your own country pub, then perhaps you should read Cows to Corpses. So, chapter 12, end of the first week. Well, today is Thursday and the end of our first official week. We're still muscle-achingly knackered, and my feet feel like someone has chewed them up and spat them out, but at least I can pour a decent pint now more often than not. Pleasingly, someone came in and asked for a bar job, and after mulling it over for a nanosecond, Rob asked her to work on Sunday and Monday nights. As the restaurant isn't open these nights, both Rob and I can have a rest together. And because we seem to be employing staff willy-nilly, I've also taken on a washer-upper for Friday and Saturday nights and Sunday lunchtimes. Hurrah! We've bought some chickens and housed them in an old hen house we found in the back garden, so I'm getting fresh eggs for breakfast every morning. A good breakfast is very important to me. A few people have been in each night for food, so working in the restaurant is becoming less and less daunting as each day goes by, and Rob has practised all the things he learnt on his cellar management course under what he calls battle conditions, but which I think means swiftly changing a barrel during service, under pressure to get it right first time. This can be quite daunting, as you can imagine, because Sod's Law says the beer will always go when you've got a pub full of people waiting to be served. If it's the lager that needs changing, Rob has to race downstairs to the cellar, turn off the gas, unscrew the coupler on top of the barrel, move the empty one out of the way, manhandle a new one in its place, recouple it to the pumping system, release the air out of the cellar buoy so it fills with beer, you can check the condition of the liquid then, and turn the gas back on. Or something like that, because it all seems a bit complicated to me. The reason for the urgency is Rob has invariably left several customers waiting at the bar for their pints, plus another patron will usually walk in when Rob's not there to welcome him. Nonetheless, things are progressing, and best of all, we're in the local paper tomorrow. This last thing gives me a lot of pleasure because as an ex-marketing person it was worrying me that I hadn't even thought about our publicity campaign, let alone begun one. But one of the local large farmers, large as in has a lot of land, dropped in for a drink last Sunday evening and told us that many years ago he'd brought a couple of Hereford bulls down to the pub to welcome the new landlord in. The farmer asked if we'd like him to do the same thing again, to carry on the tradition. I said that would be wonderful, but didn't think I'd have much time to sort it out in the near future. The farmer, bless him, contacted the newspaper himself and arranged for a photographer and journalist to visit today. How kind and thoughtful was that? So at 2:30 this afternoon, myself and the journalist cum photographer peered out of the public bar window to see two massive bulls lumbering up the high street in the drizzle. They weren't on their own, of course. The large farmer and his assistant were with them. I swear when these beasts placed each hoof on the ground, the surrounding houses trembled. It was just like in the film Jurassic Park when the enormous foot of a T-Rex drops on the ground with a heavy thud. They grew bigger and bigger as they approached, and the photographer, whom I thought will be well used to this sort of thing by now, said, "God, they're the size of elephants." "You should worry," I replied. "You're not the one who's going to have to stand next to them." If you'd like to find out what happens, then visit my website www.cowstocorpses.co.uk, where you can buy a copy of the book for as little as £1.99. If I sell enough copies, then perhaps I won't have to sell my home. So please help and buy one. Thank you.